XP pros and cons, right? Road mastery. So these all things we have discussed. So now we are going to discuss about understanding XP. So we have to understand XP, how this XP is working, what kind of a services and what kind of a quality it will be providing to the customer as well as the developers as well as for the organization only. Why this XP? Okay, why this XP is most important for all the software development frameworks, right? Why? Because here they are using all agile models. Okay, incrementally they will be updating and releasing it as a new version, right? So why they are using this agile model means here they can do the changes and they can release it as the new version, right? So simply we can say that improve the software quality and response to the customer requirements. Okay, depend upon the customer need and the requirement. Okay, according to the time to the market, here we are improving that software quality. Okay, improving the software quality. And here whatever the extreme programming models, right? So mostly in this extreme programming models they will be keeping some templates okay, templates means by using that templates I can do the small changes, I can include the small requirements in that template and I can run that code. Okay, so at that time will be the safe, right? Time will be safe and easily we can develop that code, right? Like that we can do these all things, right? So the main purpose of this extreme programming model recommends taking the best practices that have worked well in the past in program development projects, right, to some extreme levels, right? So here the three main things. First of all, this extreme programming is most important software, right? Most important software development framework for all the agile models, right? Why we are using this agile model means to improve the software quality. Okay, how we can improve that software quality means here we are collecting the requirements from the customer and we are involving the customer or the stakeholder at the last of our project also, right? And we are releasing it as a new version, right? So why this extreme programming? Mainly what it will be recommending means all it will be gathering the best practices, okay, in old projects or past whatever the softwares we have used. If it is best, then it will be recommend to use this softwares or to use this kind of a model to develop our projects, right? So that is XP, right? So the three main things will be there. Remember this, I will be asking again, right? So the principles, we have seen 12 principles, right? Along with that, here we are having three more like coding, testing, and listening. Means developers, what they will be doing means whenever they are using some traditional coding, right? So the concept of coding is nothing but used in XP model is slightly different from the traditional coding. Okay, so previous law, have you people seen that whenever we are writing our code we have to execute that in one model only, but nowadays what we are doing, that code can be converted into some drawing diagrams. Okay, we can transform into the other scripting languages or other web-based systems, okay, by choosing some alternate solutions, right? For example, in UML tool, sorry, have you people use that software engineering lab in that there will be some diagrams, right? Once we write the code, okay, once we have written that code, collaboration diagram will be coming. Okay, simply we can convert that diagram into the another diagram also. Okay, like that means here nowadays how it was updated means whatever the coding we have written, automatically for that it have to generate the diagrams also. We can easily transform that or we can easily transform to the other code languages also, okay, by choosing several alternative solutions, right? So that is the coding, right? And testing means with why we people are doing this testing means mainly to identify that the product is working perfectly or not, right? So we are going simply we can say that the product which we are releasing at last, it should be a bug free, right? Then only customer will be satisfying and he will be paying the amount for that. Okay, like these all things are going to be happen, right? These all things are going to be happen, right? So this XP model gives the high importance on testing and consider it to be the primary factor to develop a fault-free software, right? So here tester, everyone will give some importance for the testing. Why? Because with the help of this, they can get all the information, where is the drawback and what we can do, right? So testing is also main important, right? And listening, at last, listening. Why this listening has been involved, ma'am? Here we are saying that every time customer, we are involving the customer, right? Till the product has been released, we are involving our stakeholder in each and every level. Means what we are doing, first man, we are preparing some code and running it and giving to the customer as a report, okay, to verify if anything is there to update or anything has to be included. Then stakeholder will be checking and giving that report to the developers. Based on that, they will be adding and releasing it as a new software. By doing these all things, what we can get more simply here, developers can develop a good quality softwares, right? So the developers needs to carefully listen to the customer if they have to develop a good quality software, right? Sometimes programmers may not have the depth knowledge of the system to develop, right? So it is desirable for the programmers to understand properly the functionality of the system, and they have to listen to the customers, right? If they listen to the customer carefully, then they can develop the good quality of the software and can provide to the market according to the time to market. Okay, time to market is nothing but means how the market is changing, according to that they are going to be developing and providing to the customer. Then customer will be happy and we are going to be benefited, right? So these three also included in this, right? So we'll see what is the XP life cycle. Always I am saying that MNC companies are using this extreme programming languages, okay, to develop their projects and to get a benefit. Means what they are doing in that, okay, how they are working in that. With the help of this XP life cycle, we can see, right? So release plan, whenever the plan is released, here in this user stories will be there. User stories means, for example, you people only, okay, you people only, what you will be doing whenever you are coming late or attending class for late, right? At that time you people are giving some stories, right? So I am listening that stories, right? So like that, according to that stories we will do something, okay, we will adding or we will changing the timings or like that. These all things are going to be happen, right? Iteration plan. So here release plan, next iteration means according to the user stories, here they will be releasing it as a next version, right? Project velocity, they are going to be releasing it as a next iteration. Means all the changes are going to be included in that iteration plan will be there. According to that, they will be develop that project and they will be fixing all the bugs, right? And releasing it as a latest versions, right? And releasing it as a latest version, like day by day. Once the project has been released also, here two people will be working on that. Day by day they have to check and identify and they have to update all the things, right? And again they have, according to that they have to develop, according to that they have to develop, either they have to release a new functionality, okay, by adding the new requirements in that, or otherwise they will be collecting the new stories from the users. They will be communicating and learning, and they will be developing one project and testing and at last releasing it as a version, right? And whenever the project has been running, okay, everything has been completed. So first here they will be doing the testing. If that text testing will be failed means acceptance test will be failed means again iteration planning. They will be including all the new requirements, new stories, developing, fixing the bugs, releasing it as that. Okay, like that, this life cycle is going to be work. Means here gathering the stories, okay, gathering all the user stories, okay, according to that user stories in a form of episodes, they will be releasing one softwares in a form of episodes, okay, episode 1, episode 2, like that they will be releasing the softwares, right? And iteration is going to be performing like I1, I2, I3, like that. Okay, once the testing has been failed means again they will be doing some iteration, adding the means gathering all the new user stories and adding in that, developing and releasing, right? So like that, XP life cycle is going to be followed, right? So among these all things, here we are having some 8 key roles, ma'am. So whenever the project has been came, right? Whenever the project has been came means some 8 roles are very important and they are mainly responsible to deliver. Okay, they have to gather all the information until the delivery of that product to the customer, right? Till the deployment state work, so they are all important, right? One is the project sponsors, okay, project sponsors and subject matter experts. Simply we can say that SME or domain experts. Okay, if we are getting any projects in different domains means definitely we need that domain experts also, right? And product owner will be there, they will be looking after all the means each and every module is going to be distributed in a form of small teams. Okay, in a form of teams they are working on that. And project manager is also important. Technical lead will be there who will be controlling their team members and dividing that task into a small parts and giving to them, right? And software developers, testers, and at last user acceptance testers will be there, right? So these 8 roles are very important whenever we are going to be developing any projects or executing. Okay, these all are the 8 key stakeholders, okay, roles. They are going to be corresponding and responsibility whenever the project is going to be developed, right? So here waterfall model is there and iterative life cycle. As I said that here we are going to be using agile models, right? Waterfall model means here only one time we will gathering all the requirement, and once planning is done means then only it will be moving to the analysis. Okay, once this has been completed means then moving to the designing. Okay, after designing then coding. Then in this waterfall model we can't come back to the this level, back level. Okay, only forward level, only forward level only. At last they are going to be releasing their product and getting the amount for that. If any changes they want to do means we can't, but it will be consuming some 3 to 24 months, right, to release one product. But coming to this iterative life cycle, means here we are using our agile models, right? So what we are doing now, we are gathering, we are doing the planning, analysis, designing, coding, test, deployment, and releasing it. Okay, if any changes customer is giving means again we can do planning, releasing, like that. We can do these all things and get the profit for that, and releasing it as a new version, right? So this dollar symbol is nothing but potential release, and simultaneously we'll getting the profit. And according to the customer or the stakeholder stories, we are again planning and adding it and releasing it as a next version or next episodes, right? Like that, right? So these are the 8 key roles which are important whenever we are going to be developing our projects or giving to the customers, right, at that time. So this XP life cycle, before that we have seen this XP life cycle. Ma'am, already we have discussed life cycle, right? Means at the background, each and every levels, how it is working, we have seen clearly, right? Now we are going to see all the stages, right? So The first, planning. Okay, planning means here in this first phase of this extreme programming life cycle is planning, where customers or users meets with the developer teams to create the user stories or requirements. Okay, user is giving his stories. Okay, I need this requirement, I want my project, like this, and within these days you have to give these all things, and these all are the things you have to include in that. Okay, like that they will be giving. Based upon that they will be planning, and here development team converts the user stories into iterations, right? Means they will be divided into some I1, I2, I3, like that. I1, I2, I3, like that they will be dividing and covering, has a small part of the functionality or a features required, right? And a combination of iteration provides the customer with the final fully functional product. Means it should be a good quality product and customer should be satisfied, right? So like that iterations are going to be provided between the project development, right? And the programming team prepares the plan, time and cost of carrying out the iteration, and individual developers sign up for the iteration. Okay, in planning these all things they are going to be estimating, and definitely they have to get a profit. Like that they will be planning, and they will be releasing the products in a form of iteration, right? So one planning approach is the critical path method. Grouping iteration essential for the project progress is a linear fashion, and arranging for completion of other iteration parallel to the critical path, right? So like waterfall model, if we are doing only one time, we are following that life cycle, means definitely we won't get a profits, right? But it should be in waterfall model, it will be not overlapping with each other, ma. Okay, overlapping above. Okay, but here whenever we are using, we are gathering user requirement and releasing it as a new version, like that iterations parallelly we are going to be working. Okay, critical situations రాకుండా parallelly here we are going to be working, right? So the next level will be the analysis, ma. So in this analysis states, they will be determining where the problem is getting, how that problem is getting, how to fix, what to do. These all things they will be doing, and setting their project goals, right? And dividing the project into a small pieces, and attempting the users to engage on the particular requirements, right? And here on site customers are responsible for figuring out the requirements for the softwares. Okay, and they will figure out the general requirements for the stories. Before that programmers are going to be estimate, and they estimate in detail requirements, and programmers are going to be implementing that particular product or project, right? So in some cases customers work along with the programmers, as they use some user interface builders to create some screens or to give some feedback on that, how it is visible, how it is working. Okay, simultaneously these all things are going to be happen, right? So mainly here teams are going to be providing some interaction designer responsibility for all the applications of user interface, right? So here whenever the project is going to be developed, okay, within 1 week they will perform and released as one version, ma. Okay, they will be performing these all things and releasing it as a some version. Okay, I1, and second they will be getting the feedbacks. Okay, depend upon that again they will be performing these all things within some time, they will be fixing some time. Within that they will be releasing the I2 iteration 2. Okay, they like that simultaneously they can update according to the market, and they can satisfy the customer, and they will be getting some profit also, right? So like that analysis will be done based on the customer need and the requirement along with time and their goals, right? So like that they will be involving and doing the analysis, right? In this week what we have to do and what we have to release. If we are releasing that that version, means how much benefit we are getting. Okay, again with that benefit, in how many days we can release again new version, like that analysis will be done, right? So design and coding, third level. Okay, design and coding means here XP uses incremental design and architectures to continuously create and improve the design in small steps, right? And they are using some TDD methods, right? TDD methods, and they are going to be separating. Okay, they will be separating in a form of waves, and together they will be testing, coding, designing, and understanding about the architectures. And here they are going to be supporting to the processes. Okay, programmers works are going to be divided in a form of pairs. Okay, instead of one person is going to be working means it will be consuming more time, right? So here they will be divided in a form of pairs. As you people are working on major project, now your team is divided into some four, right? Four means each member can divide into, you do a documentation work, you gather all the, you see about the coding. Okay, one person will see about the coding, and another person is about like designing all the screens. Okay, and like that you people are will be dividing. If one person have to do these all things means it will be take the time, and time consuming will be there, slow process will be there, right? If we are pairing up, okay, pairing up means increase the amount of the brain power, and we can complete that task in time, right? So programmers are also responsible for managing their development environment. They use the version control system for configuration management and maintain their own automated build, right? And the next, programmers integrate. Okay, once they have updated with new code, right, they will be integrating. They will be integrating and releasing it as a new version, right? And they will be supporting to the programmers to maintain some coding standards and share the ownership of the code also. And team is going to be sharing all their code with each other, and they will be fixing the problems. Okay, they will be fixing the problems and working on it, on that particular project, right? Once the project has been released also, two people will be working on that particularly, right, to update, to think differently, to do any changes on that particular, right? So coding here, I have discussed both, right, design and coding. So they will be giving priority to the code mostly, and documentation less, right? Why? Because they have to release the project in time, right? And here developing the code based on the agreed metaphors and standards. They will be they will be accepting or adopting that policies and collective code ownerships, right? And pairing programmings or developing code by two programmers, they are going to be working to get some good quality code with less cost, right? And there should be no overtime, in time they have to complete, and frequent integrations are going to be done. So that is about the coding. And at last, testing. So Extreme program integrates the testing with the development phase rather than at the end of the development phase. All codes have unit test to eliminate the bugs, and the code passes all such unit tests before release, right? The before releasing the products, have you people heard about that alpha test, beta test? What is the meaning of that alpha and beta? Can anyone? We'll discuss about that last. Okay, so another key test is there. Okay, customer acceptance test. Based on that customer specification, acceptance test runs at the completion of the coding, and the developers providing the customer with results of acceptance test along with the demonstration. Okay, so acceptance test means whenever the customer is there, he have to accept that all project, and here they are giving the demonstration how to use, where to implement. Instructions are going to be given. Then once the customer is accepted, then perfectly the test has been completed and it has been released as a one quality of good quality of product into the market, right? So at last deployment, this all acceptance testing is done means definitely it is ready to deploy, right? Ready to deploy according to the customer. It will be scheduling and they will be releasing, right? As long as the team is active, it is going to be maintain the software. It has released also. And depending upon the organization, team may also support its own software. Okay. Once the software has been developed, our job is completed. Not like that, ma. They will be giving some support until their projects are going to be developing on their particular softwares. If any problems has been occurred, they will be taking care of that, right? Similarly, when the project ends, the team may hand off and maintenance duties to another team, right? In this case, the team creates the documentation and provides training as necessary during its last few weeks, right? So they what they will be doing means if the new software is their new tool they are going to be using in their project means here in companies, first of all they will be giving some training and some documentation. You have to how to use, okay, some manual, simply we can say that manual how to use. First we have to read and we have to understand, then after that they will be giving the training on that how to use. Okay, so like that they will be planning and giving the training to the employees so that they can work on that, right? So that will be the deployment at last, right? Once the software is done means it is going to be using it will be used by the customers or the stakeholders.